Hello friends, I'm back for some example sentences and to hammer home a few points to you on the reflexives and personal pronoun adjectives, especially in the third person, okay? So here's what I would have to say as a reiteration. Number one, this page 503, is actually a great page for you to review right in the middle here. This is very helpful. Remember, suus, sua, suum are adjectives, and they're reflexive. They reflect back to the subject or the antecedent. And then the other option that you have to choose from in this regard would be third person genitive items in the singular or in the plural. Those are the eius, eiorum, eiarum area. Okay? So the thing is, remember, these are a little tricky. You guys have probably wondered, why do I have gray hair right here? This streak here, this is from personal pronoun adjectives, okay? Not really, but adjectives, you know, they can give anybody gray hair. Sorry, my clock's going off. So here's what I would say. Let's review. Look right here at page 503, right in the middle, okay? This will help you as you're working on these exercises. So, for instance, let me read it quickly. Suus, sua, suum, the reflexive, must match the noun being owned in gender, number, and case, okay? Because they're adjectives. Eius, eiorum, eiarum, okay? The third person genitives show possession by being in the genitive case. Number 3, suus, sua, suum, show that the subject of the sentence owns something. The subject of the sentence owns something, and it's reflecting back to the subject. Number 4, eius, eiorum, eiarum, the genitive third person, does not match the noun being owned in gender, number, and case. Okay? Number 5, eius, eiorum, eiarum matches the person who owns the noun in gender and number. We say in gender and number because the case is already defined. It's genitive. That's what's creating the possession there, right? It's not reflexive. Number 6, both of these groups can be translated more than one way. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? So let's look at the first 3 sentences here. I want you to look at them. All 3 sentences are the same. Cesar, metum, and then a blank, and then sensit. We are going to be sticking one of these words, either a genitive third person or a reflexive adjective, in here, depending on how we want to translate it. So the first thing that I do for each of these is I'm going to parse these out. Cesar, nominative, singular, masculine, it's in the third declension. Remember, Cesar, Cesaris, third declension, okay? Metum, I look that up, and it's a do. It's accusative then. Singular, masculine, it's in the fourth declension. That's our new declension that we've just learned, okay? Then I have over here, for my verb, I have that it's a verb, it's in the present tense, third person singular. That's matching Caesar. Caesar, he senses fear. Each one of these. Now we're going to find out whose fear he is sensing, okay? In this case, we want to say Caesar senses their fear. So this would be Caesar senses the fear of them, of those guys over there. Okay, so we're looking for something that is plural, something that's third person, and something that's masculine, because Caesar's going to fear those guys over there. Although who knows, he might have been afraid of a bunch of women. Probably was. Could have been. So let's see, plural, third person, and this is going to be in the genitive because it's not referring back to Caesar. It's referring to those guys over there. So Caesar senses the fear of them, of those guys. So we are going to choose eiorum, which is masculine, third person, and plural, right? And that's how we get there. How we get here, number 2, Caesar senses the fear of him. Okay, so they want it to say Caesar senses his fear. And by his, they mean Caesar senses the fear of him, of that guy over there. That one guy over there. Well, since it's not reflecting back on Caesar, it's not Caesar. Caesar is sensing the fear of that guy over there, away from him, third person over there. We would still do the same thing. Caesar senses the fear of him. So we're back to the genitive, third person, singular, masculine this time, okay? Because it's him. It's a him. But even if it was her, or even if it was an it, this word would all be the same. Because remember, if you look on your handy dandy chart right here, it reminds you on the bottom of your chant chart that all three of those are the same. Okay? For singular, neuter, masculine, feminine. It's all this word. Okay? Number 3. This one's a little bit different. Let's think about it for a minute. Caesar senses the fear, and this time we want to say, of himself. Caesar senses his own fear, the fear of himself. Okay? That's how I think of it. Caesar senses the fear of himself, his own fear. And so what we're dealing with here, all these same things, nominative, singular, masculine, third declension. Here's our verb. This is also going to match Caesar, okay, because it's Caesar, he. And then here's our do. Now, if we want to say of himself, we know that that gets us to a reflexive. So we're going to have to decline the adjective, because this is an adjective, a reflexive adjective. Suus, sua, suum. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, okay, no problem, this is suus. No, it's not suus. And you could say, well, why? Is this referring to Caesar? No, because this adjective is referring to the word right before it, which is metum. Well, that's fear. Metus, metus. That's masculine. So we're going to put suus on here. No. Gray hair. This is why, people. This is why. Because metum is in the accusative. This adjective needs to match its noun, the noun that it's modifying in GNC. So, because this is accusative, singular, masculine, this needs to be accusative, singular, masculine. So when you go to look up suum on your handy dandy list right here, this is page 502. Look right down here, you're going to go, okay, so it's masculine, singular fear, and it's in the accusative. Oh, it's suum with the um. Do not let these adjectives fool you. You can do it. It's actually just an interesting puzzle to think through. So if you see something in the answer key and you're like, why is that it? Now, first of all, you can check with me and say, is the answer key right? I can always double check that. And I can always explain to you why it's not what you think it is. Okay? So now you see how that works. Yes? Yes. So